Hello and welcome to our series of interviews with channel chiefs from the leading global technology companies. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Anwar Dahab, who is SVP of Channel in EMEA for Dell Technologies. Anwar, great to see you again.
Hi, Alastair. Good to see you.
So looking forward to meeting you in person in Barcelona at our event. And today we're going to talk about some of the things that Dell has been doing over the last 12 months and the sort of forward view. The theme of our event this year is Thrive, of course. So let me ask the first question, which is, have you personally been thriving in 2021? What's changed in your life? Are you meeting people again?
Yeah, so I would say in the first half of 2021, not much has changed. I've been personally thriving, and I'm still spending more time with my family and meeting colleagues and partners like yourself over Zoom. But from a personal standpoint, all went well for me, and we're looking forward to getting back on the field and meeting you. You mentioned Barcelona, and we're meeting with partners and customers more and more. So that's good news.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a positive vibe in the air. Let me turn then to the partners, because obviously that's the big focus of this event. What are you seeing from the partner community? Are you seeing partners doing well? Are they thriving in 2021?
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe to put things in context, just to let you know I talked to you about me, but about the company and how we've been thriving as Dell Technologies organization, and of course with our partners. And the numbers reflect our success. If you look at our results we just announced globally, in the second quarter, we grew 15%. We had our best second quarter ever at 26.1 billion as a company. And if you look at the first half, we've been growing 13% in the first half of this year. And this is an acceleration from what we saw last year. So business is thriving, and with our partners, even better and even more. Channel remains the fastest growing route to market for Dell Technologies. At a global level, we grew 29% our channel business in the first 6 months of the year, to be compared with the 13% for us as a company overall. Wow. And for us in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, 30%, 30. So, I like to give facts and numbers. Company grew 13%. Channel partners in EMEA grew 30%, 30 in the first half of this year.
That's amazing.
I would say partners are definitely thriving. And there are a number of things that I would say didn't change for us in the first half of this year compared to last year. The industry is still doing well, and IT is more relevant than ever, helping the communities, the society, and the economy going in this environment. What hasn't changed and where our partners are thriving is the acceleration of trends that were here before the pandemic, and those trends are all accelerating. The most obvious is the work from anywhere, shop from anywhere, learn from anywhere, do everything from anywhere. And that manifests in what we see with the commercial PC business. And the second thing where our partners are succeeding is the fact that hybrid cloud is the infrastructure of choice for multi-cloud more than ever. And our partners have a key role to play there with their customers. The number three thing that's not changing and actually accelerating is the pace of digital transformation and application modernization. Because online is the front end for many of our joint customers with our partners. And the last area where we see acceleration is security. And you have probably more stats than me on what's happening with security. I can give you a few numbers. An attack every 11 seconds. 95% of breaches happen at endpoint, so that makes security even more important in an environment with where a lot is done remotely. So I would say that partners have been thriving. Numbers prove it. I told you about the growth we achieved with our partners, and thriving in an environment where there is an acceleration of some of the trends we had before the pandemic.
Yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, you mentioned cybersecurity. We definitely see that. We expect double-digit growth this year in cybersecurity for all the reasons you mentioned. So just drilling into some of those points a bit. I mean, hybrid cloud. I mean, that is that is sort of underpinning the infrastructure business, of course. So are you seeing partners growing across the infrastructure, but also on the workplace side? Is the growth kind of balanced across both those areas?
Well, no, and again, you have your analysis, and we look at your reports, and clearly the first wave was with the workplace and doing everything from anywhere. So we had a differentiated growth in the PC business. When you look at our results globally, that business grew 27% in the first half of this year. Infrastructure is starting to grow. And if I look at your predictions for this year, I think you're saying that infrastructure will grow around 10%. I think it's 9% precisely that you have there. So I would say the urgency for our customers and partners and the IT departments was to go and enable people to work from anywhere. Now they have to work on the infrastructure to enable that remote hybrid environment. And there are a number of projects that are coming back. So clearly we see, and you're telling us the same, we see an acceleration now in the infrastructure business. And one thing I want to say again on the partners and why we see our channel partners succeeding so much. They have unique differentiators, which create that difference in the growth with our partners. It's their customer intimacy and proximity, their geographical coverage, their vertical expertise in healthcare, education, energy, smart cities, industry, et cetera, and also their services. So there are a number of elements which really position our IT ecosystem and partners to continue to grow. And to answer your question, it didn't grow the same. Started with the PC, and again, I'll ask you to look at your own predictions for this year. And we see the same in our business, of course. There is now an acceleration on the infrastructure side of the business.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Obviously, one of the big issues has been supply chain and availability. So what's your message to partners around that, both on the data center and the client side? What should they expect going into next year?
Well, there are two things. I mean, you have the overall industry supply chain and semiconductor challenges, and there are many industries competing for the same components. It's not only IT, it's industry, it's the automotive industry as well, all sorts of industries. So the challenges on supply chain overall will remain for some time, and we need just more capacity. And you hear of the investments, including from Intel, on new capacities that you don't build a factory overnight. So we will have some friction in the supply chain for some time. Now, this being said, we did differentiate with the scale and capabilities of our supply chain. You see it in the results. And I just mentioned the 27% growth in the CSG business, the client solution group for Dell Technologies as a whole. In the second quarter, 32% in the commercial PC. So we continue to differentiate with the supply chain. And what I'll tell you and what partner can expect is, yes, there will still be challenges. However, and this is consistent feedback from the partners, and you see it in the numbers, results, and growth, I think we're differentiated with our supply chain. And there's one thing, and I'm talking to partners every day, one thing that keeps coming is that we're predictable. So there are extended lead times on certain products, primarily on the PC. We don't have challenges on the infrastructure side. But at least we can give our partners good visibility to when they will get delivered. And what we hear from them is that thankfully we're differentiated with our supply chain. So expect more challenges, but expect us to continue to make the difference with our supply chain and to be predictable on our delivery dates.
That definitely seems to be one of the differentiators for vendors, is that predictability that you're talking about. What about other challenges that you're seeing? We know skills are a big issue, and particularly when we talk about some of the themes that you mentioned. Anything else? I mean, are skills an issue? Are you doing more training with your partners, and anything else that you see the partners challenged with at the moment?
No, I mean, skills has been a theme for some time, and I would say with the pandemic there are two elements, on the skill side. On the one front, with remote work, you're able to attract more people from more places geographically, and that certainly works for us. As a company, we had a culture of working remotely for more than 10 years now. So I would say that this new hybrid environment has been maybe a bit easier for us given our history. So that remains a challenge on the skill side, finding the right people, but at the same time you can cast a wider net to go find talent. So we see that partners who expand their horizons can find the skills that they need to grow. But clearly, that's the key differentiation for our partners. I mean, we need to continue to build skills. We need to be enabled on designing hybrid cloud environments, as I discussed, on implementing remote work environments, on security we discussed, which is super important. Yeah. So one challenge for our partners is the skills. The other challenge was, and we touched on it briefly, depending on our partners' company culture and how intimate and close they were to the customers, the fact that they had to do it remotely. But I should say that's also their strength and differentiator, because we see more flexibility, more proximity with the partners, and now they're going back to visit their customers. But skills would be a challenge. A remote environment would be a challenge. Supply would be an industry challenge. So those are some of the challenges. But overall, I definitely see more opportunities than challenges. And again, you see the same with the growth that we're expecting in our industry this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the sort of the sales engagement and so on. One of the things that Dell did last year and that you announced was a restructuring of your global sales organization. And it seemed that the point of that was to create more alignment between Dell sales and channel sales organizations. Is that a fair way of putting it? And has that led to changes? Obviously, direct, indirect perception is always something of an issue for the channel. What are you seeing now?
So two things, and you have two questions there. The first one is about the go-to-market changes and driving more simplicity, accountability, alignment between our channel sales teams and our end-user sales teams. That has worked. And I'll get back again to the numbers, and the proof is in our differentiated growth with our partners, be it globally, in EMEA, and across every line of business. So we're growing faster with our partners, no question. So that has worked. The direct and indirect perception, I don't know how much I will talk about it. And we've been working together for years, and I can't remember, a conversation with you and others where I don't get the question. And every year, the answer is the same. We're growing faster with partners. Our deal registrations are growing every year. We're winning more with partners than in any route to market. So what else can I say? I mean, the organization, again, 13% for the total business, 30%, 30, with our partners. Yeah. So it is working. So that keeps coming. We've been doing channel for 12 years now in a structured manner as an organization. How long will it take? 15 years, 20 years? So that I stop getting the question. So anyway,
I mean, yeah. Do you sort of see a link then between that channel growth and the changes that were made last year? Do you think that is, one of the things that has helped to drive that growth?
Yes, absolutely. I think that the fact that we have the same leadership and simplifying our go-to-market and the alignment on joint account campaigns to be very specific on a particular geography, on a particular segment with our partners, drives better alignment between our end users teams and our partners. And that leads to differentiated performance and better results. So it's as clear as that. So clearly the changes enabled us to grow faster with the partners.
Yeah, and well, the data speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, and just maybe, sorry, I want to add something else about that direct conversation. It's not about direct sales, and that's what people misunderstand about us. It's about direct coverage, direct relationships, and I would see it as a differentiator with our partners. The fact that we have such a big coverage enable us to work jointly on more opportunities. And so it's really, of course, there is a component of direct sales, although our channel mix grows year after year, and each time we have the conversation every year, we're doing more with the channel. And next year, we'll be talking and we'll be doing more with the channel. So and there's this confusion between direct relationship and direct sales.
I mean, the growth that you're talking about for the channel is well ahead of where the market is overall, as we talked about. So I know one of the things that Dell has been doing is really focusing on driving partners and incentivizing partners to go after net new business. And we know that's also been one of the challenges over the last 18 months. So are you seeing that growth or part of that growth coming from Dell and partners together winning new accounts, new white space opportunities?
Absolutely. And again, I like to be fact-based and give you numbers. For the first half of the year, 71% of our new customers were acquired with partners. So we are winning in acquisition a disproportionate amount of customers with our partners. Right. And for reasons I mentioned earlier, partners are closer to customers. They have more coverage. They have vertical expertise. They have services arms. So, no changes, same thing. We continue to win with partners. And anyway, so I was reacting to your direct comment because, I remember being on stage 2 years ago and, in the old world and having the same question and having a conversation with you last year, it was the same question. So anyway.
Well, I mean, we're always responding to partner questions. So, it's a reflection of what we still hear in partners, but I think your data points really show some significant change.
And I'll add you more, Alastair. And by the way, I'm not denying the fact that there might be anecdotes here and there. That can happen.
So let me change tack a little bit, because another big change or announcement that Dell made was the launch of Apex, your as-a-service model. So as you start to roll this out, how important are channel partners to this in terms of go-to-market strategy?
Channel partners are critical to this. And Apex, just to explain, is our long-term transformational effort in the company to deliver everything as a service. There are offers where we announced to the market, but just to put it in perspective, it's really long-term and transformational. And channel partners were with us in the design phase. We had a number of workshops, conversations, one-on-one forums, partner advisory boards at very early stages of designing the offer, learning from what's happening in the market with some of our competitors and other industry players, and asking partners, what is it that you need for this motion to be successful with you? And we have a number of different motions with the partners. We have referral for those who want to refer business. We have technical integration on the other extreme, so they can take our Apex offerings and integrate in their own offerings. And of course, we have resale for Apex when our partners can resell it. And what we apply to all the other components of our program for all the rest of our solutions we do with Apex, and we're working with our partners to make it simple, to make it profitable for them, and they're just essential. I would encourage our partners also to understand all the services they can provide around Apex. And each time there is a change or an evolution in our industry, you have two types of partners. You have the vast majority who look for opportunities and how they're going to adapt. And you always have some, who are looking at what they do today and don't necessarily project themselves on what the new way of doing business will mean for them. It's a minority, and we're working with them to, highlight all the opportunities that we have with Apex. So clearly, partners involved in the design phase, critical to our route to market with Apex. And I really look forward to doing a lot more with partners, and we'll continue listening to them so that the offers are relevant for them, for their customers, and they can build their own offers around Apex.
And very briefly, what are you hearing from partners when you present the model to them? Are they saying this fits with what our customers are looking for? Or are they saying, it's an opportunity but we need to work on it to convince our customers? What's the general sentiment?
It's picking up. It's a conversation we had for some time, and it's something in our industry that sometimes you have a good idea and it takes time to really pick up. I mean, it's not going to be 50% of our business tomorrow. I'm not going to give you a percentage, but clearly not. but there is a renewed interest in as a service models. There is maturity in the offerings. And the conversation with partners now is how do we get ready to deliver business outcomes with Apex and with our partners. So it's clearly we see it in more and more RFPs, more and more asks from customers and partners. What I'm hearing is the market on the one hand it's picking up and slowly, but we're getting there. And what I hear, that was your question too, on our own offerings, as I told you, it's an iterative process. You know, we have many forums where we talk to partners. So and we made changes, and there are tangible changes that we made just talking to partners on how we design the offer, how we bring it to market, simple things like, you know, the T's and C's and things like that. So I think that, you know, the general sentiment from partners is positive, because we listened to them, and, you know, we didn't design the thing in our little corner and said, hey, this is what we want you to bring to market. And in some of the partners we'll meet together, you know, we can have that conversation, and they can, you know, share with you how we've been building that together with them.
Great. Thanks, Anwar. So let me move to the last question. What's the one thing you would recommend partners focus on for 2022? If I could ask you for one recommendation, where should they focus?
I'll give you a generic answer, because there is no universal answer for the partners. They should focus on where they make a difference, where they're differentiated and can win. And they need to look for their unique differentiation. And I know this is generic. There are a number of trends in the industry, and thankfully there is a broad partner landscape who is serving our joint customers on all of those trends and those needs. It's getting complex in terms of, you know, technology needs for our joint customers. Partners bring simplicity to that. They bring expertise. So the trends we discussed already: digital transformation and app modernization, hybrid cloud as the infrastructure of choice for multi-cloud, work can do anything from anywhere, and of course security. So if you're a partner today and you're strong in one of those areas, and you have a customer set, deepen your expertise. Of course, have an eye on what's coming next: 5G, telco, as a service, as we discussed. But first thing I would tell partners is, where do you differentiate? What are your verticals? What is your expertise? You know, and I see partners. We have a number of large partners, but, you know, we have any quarter about 30,000 active partners in Europe and East Africa. Of course, I mean, we have a number of large partners who can address many of those areas. But then if we look at the vast majority of the partners, where they succeed is with really they understand on all those trends where they can make a difference and work with us hand in hand into winning in their specific area of strength.
Okay, great answer. And congratulations on a fantastic performance for Dell. And thank you for talking to us today, Anwar. Great to talk to you.
Thank you, Alastair. Great talk to you, and look forward to meeting face to face finally.
Absolutely.